Hi guys, this is the Epic Gamer Boy here, and as you guys can see, I got some new devices here, as you can see. I know I did get some new devices like a couple of days ago, and I finally tried to make a video on everything I have that I got, but this time recently I got a bit of more new devices, and I'd like to share with them. So yeah, so let's get started. So first up, you have the Galaxy S4. As you can see, perfectly working. The reason, hold on a second. The reason why I got a new Galaxy S4 is because my main Galaxy S4 broke while I was in China. Because my old Galaxy S4 broke while I was in China, and and then I got like another Galaxy S4 after that, but that one like had a bad charging port, and I sold it to one of my friends, and yeah, it's nice to have another Galaxy S4 again in my collection, because the one I had broke on me while I was in China, my previous one actually. So yeah, one thing about this Galaxy S4 is that it's on Verizon, as you can see, so like the apps on here, but there's no text or like the Verizon logo, which means the back cover on this may not be the correct back cover, but it's still pretty cool to have, which is nice, as you can see. And yeah, and it's perfectly working. Next up, we have is a iPhone 6s, and yes, I did get a new iPhone 6s because my because I gave my main because I gave my iPhone 6s to my brother, since he does need like a phone for school and stuff. So I mean, I don't know what other phones I could give him, so I just gave him like my 6s and stuff. But since yeah, and as you can see, I'm trying to show like the best details I can of the phone. So this iPhone 6s here is 64 gigabyte. Fun fact, this phone originally came on iOS 13, but I did update it to 15 because I want to use it as like my main iPhone 6s and stuff. So this phone here is 64 gigabyte. I'm not sure if the carrier, when I got it. It's carrier locked, but I can't remember. Okay, so the battery health on this phone is 100%, but the battery on this phone is like really bad on this phone. Like, yeah, you can saw like the battery on this thing dropped. And another thing of this phone is that it has an aftermarket screen. So that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, aftermarket screens on phones kind of depends on on like the quality of them. If it's like extremely cheap aftermarket screens, those can actually break easily through like a drop and stuff. And if it's one in like poor quality, then yeah, yeah. One thing of like aftermarket screens is that you still need to like be careful from when you drop your phone, because aftermarket screens are like more fragile than like actual OEM screens, I'm pretty sure, or yeah, something like that. But yeah, everything on here actually works, and yeah, it's nice to have another 6S again. And that's nice. And here's the thing. So here's like one the big thing I got from my collection. So yeah, the Galaxy S4 and the iPhone 6s are just like replacements for like the phones that I had on me, but then I either broke or I had to like get rid of them or something. I didn't like throw it, and what I mean by get rid of them is that I didn't like just throw them in the trash. I mean my Galaxy S4 broke on me while I was in China, and I don't want I don't want to explain too much details. I don't feel like explaining too much details about it, or I want to make this video like more interesting and more fun to watch. So yeah, and my iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s I gave, like I said, I gave my iPhone 6s to my brother since he needed a phone for school, and I didn't know what other phone I could give him for him to use. So yeah, overall very nice. And I actually like Space Gray on the 6S as well. Fun fact, my favorite color for like the iPhone 6s, 7, and the SE first gen is and rose gold and space gray. Well, the 7 is matte black, but for the 6S and SE first gen, I pretty much like all the colors on it, but my most favorite colors on those is rose gold and space gray. So, yeah, and then yeah, so that's that. So now for like the biggest, can't believe it took me 5 minutes to get to the last and best device. So here's the big one. So here we have is an iPad 5th generation and iPad 5, as you can see. Now this one I actually got it for an extremely good deal. So on Mercari, I got these two on Mercari as well, but for the iPad 5, I found this iPad 5, I found this on my iPad 5 on Mercari for like about $20, which is like actually extremely cheap for a fully working iPad 5. I offered the seller like $16 because I wanted to get a good deal on it, which is already a good deal, and the seller actually accepted. So I offered like 16, and yeah. In total of this, this is like 29 something because there's like a because it includes like the shipping, which is like 7 something, $734 of shipping and $1 of something fee. I mean, the reason why I still bought it, even though the shipping and the fee and stuff, is because originally $20 that I saw for this is already a good deal, and I had to like buy it quick before anyone else buy it because this is extreme because this is a really good deal for a fully working iPad 5. Now let's get into like more of the details. So okay, so this iPad 5, as you can see, is a Wi-Fi and cellular model, and it comes with this case on it. Actually, I'm gonna compare this to my iPad 6th gen and see if like anything, but I'm gonna do that once I get into like the details of this. So yeah, so Touch ID, everything on here works perfectly great. Hold on a second. I don't want to leak. Okay, hopefully you can see this, but you can see it's running the latest iPad OS 16.7.10, and it is a 32 gigabyte model. Fun fact, when I was like putting my stuff on here and downloading a bunch of my apps on here, the storage on this thing did get kind of full pretty fast, and yeah. And yeah, you know how 32 gigabyte devices are like nowadays. You know, sorry, we know how 32 gigabyte devices are nowadays on like these newer devices. But yeah, especially for this. And yeah, overall, I think getting this for like getting this for like about $29, including like the you don't want nothing. As I was trying to say, because getting this for a total of $29, including the shipping and fee, was a good deal when it was originally 20. When it was originally 16 after I offered the seller. And yeah, overall this is still a pretty nice iPad. The only thing that sucks about this is that it's 32 gigabyte, and yeah. Oh, also another thing, I'd also like to like remind you that if you want to get an iPad 5, 6, 7, or 8th gen, then I would suggest, and if you're going to use it as like a main iPad or something, or like a iPad for collecting, and I would say, or actually, just for like regular use for an iPad, I would say don't get 32 GB model for like the iPad 5, 6, 7, or 8th gen, because those are like extremely pain, especially the iPad 7th and 8th gen nowadays with 32 GB. I mean those got supported with iPadOS 18, I meant to say, and yeah, we know how those goes when you're gonna fill up a lot of stuff. So yeah, so here's my iPad. So here's my iPad 6th gen. This was my main iPad from like September. This was my main iPad from September 2021 all the way to like February of last year. So yeah, good thing I upgraded, because the iPad 6 on iPadOS 17 is like so slow. Like like it's like so slow. So here's a comparison between my iPad 5 and my iPad 6 gen. So also my iPad 6 is 128 GB Wi-Fi only, and my iPad 5 is a Wi-Fi and cellular only 32 GB. So one thing about these is they looks. So in comparison, the iPad 5 and the iPad 6 are like both like very identical to each other, as you can see. I mean, one thing I do notice with the difference with the iPad 5 and 6 is that if I have like two of these but in like a gold color, I can like, if I have an iPad 5 and an iPad 6 in like a gold color variant, then those I can actually tell the difference between the colors on them to the gold color, since the gold colors on them do have differences. Another thing between the iPad 5 and the iPad 6 is the iPad 6 have Apple Pencil support, whereas the iPad 5, I don't think the iPad 5 do, or do it. Let me check. But as you can see, Apple Pencil support down there. And then the iPad 5, I don't think the iPad 5 have Apple Pencil support, so that's a difference. Another thing between the iPad 5 and the iPad 6 is the iPad 6 has the A10 chip in it, and the iPad 5 has the A9 chip in it. So that's another difference. A9 chip for the iPad 5 and the A10 chip for the iPad 6. So that's that. Both of these are 9.7 inch, and yeah. Also, another thing is that the case I have on my iPad 6 gen is a flip cover case. Pretty much all my iPads have flip cover cases except for my iPad 10th gen, and yeah, it's also in this like nice bird case. Actually, when I first got my iPad 6 in like September 2021, I did have another case. It's like a case that is like similar to my iPad Air 2 case, but that case like then broke, and then I got like another one, and then I got like another case from like one of my friends, I think, but that one also broke after a while of use. And then lastly, I got this case, and I had this case on it since like early 2022, because I think this case I have on my iPad 6, I think one of my mom's friends bought this case for me off of Amazon, and overall it's a really nice case because it has like flowers on here and a bird, and yeah, I've seen like a bunch of iPad cases with like these type of variants. So yeah, and then the iPad 5 I got came with like just a plain looking case. The only thing about this case is that this case here looks extremely beat up, and yeah, overall this is gonna be it. Okay, overall, that's just going to be it for this video here. Hope you guys like it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.